So President Trump just doesn't like to admit that he's wrong. Now, that's not just according to me. I mean, it's fairly obvious when you look at some of the stuff he tweets and look at the stuff that he says, even about the polar vortex or about climate change in general, right? But it extends to a lot more. Now, according to a NBC News national security reporter named Ken Dilanian, his aides have found it so difficult to correct the president when he is wrong that they've basically just given up. According to Dilanian, these officials say, quote, "It's extremely difficult to convince Trump he's wrong about something, no matter how much evidence they can put in front of him." So, look, us progressives, right? So we have this thing where we think that, no, you don't understand. We have data, we have evidence, we have facts on our side. If we just show people facts, then they'll have to admit, oh, you know what? I think you're right about that. Maybe I will change my mind, or, I will look at this policy in a new way and maybe consider it, right? Now, everybody who's ever gotten into an argument with, say, a right-winger or a Trump supporter knows that that's not true. Knows that no matter what you do, no matter what evidence you put in front of people, you will not win. They will not admit it. They will sidestep it. They will deflect, and they will just not agree. No, those aren't facts. That's fake news. Literally not true. But it is true. It's true. There's evidence right here. I've got papers. Well, you know what? Those scientists, they're fake news. It's not true. So what do you do when you have a president that doesn't believe in facts? Apparently, you just go, you throw up your hands and say, I don't know, man. I tried. Now, of course, this is particular stories in relation to Dan Coats. Now, Dan Coats is the National Intelligence Director for the United States, and he was talking about Iran. Now, Donald Trump, throughout his career, has made a lot of wild claims about Iran, normally followed by him live tweeting it about, like from a Fox News segment, right? Because that's normally where he gets his information, right? Information. Now, he said that Russia was continuing to try to interfere. I'm sorry. Dan Coats was saying that he tried to interfere in American elections. ISIS has not been defeated, and that North Korea was not moving to dismantle its nuclear weapons. And not only that, but as I said before, he would contradict the administration on Iran as well. Because so far, Iran has been continuing to follow the deal, despite the fact that the United States has actually pulled out of the Iran deal. But the fact that there are so many other countries that have still signed on and are still committed, that has given Iran enough, basically, it's basically given Iran the ability, or made them decide that it is worth staying in the Iran deal. So, but now, of course, after Trump was contradicted on all these different things, you had him saying that they were, quote, extremely passive and naive when it comes to the danger of Iran, and says they are wrong. Now, again, this is the National Intelligence Director of the United States. He's in charge of intelligence. That is something that apparently the president does not have. Apparently, according to Trump, he knows more about Iran than anybody. Nobody else could know about Iran as much as I do. I know everything about Iran, more than any one of you. Really? Okay. How does he know? How does he know that the intelligence is wrong? Does he have his own secret investigators that he sent to Iran? I wonder if they're the same ones who went out looking for Obama's birth certificate. Come on, man. He's such a dumb person. And I think he knows he's dumb. But he's not interested because in actually admitting the truth, because he's got an ego that is basically says that you cannot admit that you were wrong whatsoever. And maybe that works in some sort of deal making. where you stick to your position no matter what, but it doesn't work when you're the president of the United States. It doesn't work anywhere else. And it might not even work in business if you're somebody who's just irrational and won't agree to actual facts. And with the president of the United States being in that position, well, look, the decisions that he can make, and this is where it comes dangerous, could have disastrous impacts. Like, for example, war with Iran, or war with Venezuela, or whatever. Implement, or like insert any disastrous policy that he could implement in based on not factual information, and it's just not a good thing. So we got to get this guy out. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.